In this legendary game, 19-year-old Hikaru Nakamura dominates his grandmaster opponent with a brilliant queen sacrifice. The opening was nothing special. This is where the fun begins. Hikaru is playing the black pieces and the engine score is 0, meaning the position is balanced so far. But now look at this. Rook b1. Building up a discovered attack on the queen, which can often be dangerous. For example, in this position with the same tactic, white can move the bishop, giving check. Now black has to move the king out of check and white can capture the queen. This is just bye-bye. But Hikaru literally doesn't care about the discovered attack. He captures on c4. Oh no, now his opponent has a sneaky idea. Knight c6, attacking the bishop, twice, and if Hikaru takes the knight, which he actually does, there's this idea. Taking the knight. Take a moment and look at this. The queen is under attack, on top of that, the rook is under attack. And to make things worse, the bishop is under double attack. Wait, is the 19-year-old Hikaru losing? He sacrifices the queen, and white takes it. Now the king is in a very open position. Hikaru uses that. He moves the bishop and checks the king. You might be thinking, oh hey, the king can go back to f1. But black can push this pawn, opening the diagonal for the bishop. Now the king can't move at all. White has to block it with the rook. And after pushing the pawn again, the queen captures. Followed by some tactical shenanigans, capturing the rook, king e1, dropping the bishop back, check, and the king has to move again. You take the queen, and then the bishop. Basically, if you go here, it's bye-bye. So his grandmaster opponent decides to move the king even further out, and Hikaru takes the bishop, giving another check. The king is in massive danger and the only available square is this one. So white plays king g4, advancing the king further and further. And Hikaru jumps the knight to e5, another check. The best engine move is actually to capture the knight with the rook, sacrificing the rook. But white decides to move the king to g5. Rook g6. King h5. Now Hikaru pushes f6, and here we go. This would be checkmate in 1. The rook covers these squares, the pawn covers this square, and the knight covers this square. Of course it's white's turn first, so let's take the rook back. And white takes the knight on e5. Now the king has a free square to escape in case Hikaru plays rook h6. Hikaru takes the rook, giving check. And white has one legal move, king h4. Hikaru's plan still is to checkmate the king with the rook here. But if he moves the rook, the king can go here, same as earlier. So instead, Hikaru puts the bishop here, cutting the king off. So right now, the rook is covering these squares, and the bishop is covering these squares. Rook h6 would be checkmate, but white pushes this pawn, creating a safe square for the king. Actually 2 squares because the bishop lost the control over h3. But here comes the black square bishop with a check. And the king goes to h3. Can you spot the checkmate? Rook h5. The pawn can't take because it's pinned by the bishop. The king can't move at all. And let me remind you, all this was because of one queen sacrifice in a seemingly losing position.